The morning had started out perfectly. The sun was spilling a soft golden light over the shoreline, turning the small ripples of the sea into glittering shards of silver and blue. A mild breeze carried the faint scent of salt, seaweed, and something almost sweet, like the memory of a distant tropical bloom. Jessica had been waiting for this day for weeks. Ever since she booked her short vacation in this coastal town, she'd been dreaming about getting close to the water, not just standing at the edge, but actually being out there, floating, surrounded by the endless horizon. And today's plan was special. A boat trip with a chance to see dolphins in their natural habitat. Asterisk. She'd read countless stories about how friendly and playful dolphins were, how they would sometimes come right up to the side of a boat, leaping out of the water in joyful arcs. Jessica imagined herself laughing as a sleek, gray creature swam alongside, maybe even letting her reach out a hand to brush its smooth skin. The thought filled her with a childlike excitement she hadn't felt in years. Asterisk. By late morning, she was standing at the pier with a small group of other tourists, listening as the boat's skipper, a tall man named Carlos, gave instructions. "Dolphins are curious animals," he said, smiling beneath his sun-creased eyes. "But remember, they are wild. We do not touch them unless they choose to touch us." Jessica nodded along with everyone else, not really imagining any situation where a dolphin might be anything but gentle. Asterisk. The boat set off, its motor humming softly, cutting a clean path through the water. The deeper they went, the clearer the sea became. You could see several meters down shadowy movements of fish below, strands of drifting seagrass waving like slow green ribbons. After about half an hour, Carlos called out, "There, ahead." Everyone leaned forward. Sure enough, in the distance, dark gray shapes were breaking the surface. Dolphins. Asterisk. The first one appeared just meters from the boat, rising gracefully out of the water before sliding back in with barely a splash. Another followed, this one leaping completely clear of the waves, sunlight glinting off its wet skin. Laughter and applause erupted from the passengers. Jessica was transfixed. They were more beautiful than she'd imagined, sleek, powerful, and undeniably alive in a way that stirred something deep in her chest. Asterisk. Carlos cut the engine so the boat drifted. "They like it when we're quiet," he said. For a few minutes, it was magical dolphins swimming alongside, some crossing beneath the boat and reappearing on the other side. Then, one of them broke away from the group and came straight toward Jessica's side of the boat. Asterisk. She felt a rush of joy. "It's coming right to me," she whispered to the woman next to her. The dolphin's head rose from the water, its dark, intelligent eyes locking with hers. It lingered, bobbing in place. Jessica instinctively reached a hand out over the edge. That's when it happened. Asterisk. The dolphin surged upward with surprising force, hitting the side of the boat just where Jessica was leaning. She stumbled back, startled. A sudden spray of seawater drenched her front, and before she could recover, the dolphin's head came up again, this time making a sharp, almost aggressive sound through its blowhole. Its sleek body bumped the hull a second time, harder. Jessica's heart jumped into her throat. Asterisk. Step back. Carlos barked, rushing to her side. "That's not Plate's warning." His voice was calm but firm, the kind that carries experience behind it. Jessica obeyed instantly, her legs shaking. The dolphin stayed near, circling tightly, its movements faster and less graceful now, as if it was irritated or guarding something unseen. Asterisk. The other passengers had fallen silent, the air thick with uncertainty. A few dolphins in the distance kept their easy pace, but this one stayed locked on the boat's side. Jessica couldn't stop staring at its eyes. There was something intense there, something she hadn't expected to see in an animal she thought of as endlessly friendly. It was intelligent, yes, but also unpredictable. Asterisk Carlos explained in a low voice. Sometimes dolphins get territorial. Could be a calf nearby, or it just doesn't like us this close. Whatever the reason, we respect it. He started the engine, gently steering away from the spot. The dolphin followed for a short distance, then gave one last slap of its tail on the water, startling. Loud crack before diving deep and disappearing from sight. Asterisk Jessica exhaled only when the dolphin was gone. She hadn't realized she'd been holding her breath. Her pulse was racing, and she could feel a tremor in her hands. I thought they were always friendly, she admitted, half to Carlos, half to herself. Asterisk, they are wild animals, he said simply. Most of the time, they're curious and playful. But never forget, they are powerful, and the ocean is their home out here. We're the guests. Asterisk, the rest of the trip passed more quietly. They still saw dolphins at a distance, but none came as close as that one had. Jessica found herself glancing over the side often, scanning the water for any sign of that distinctive shape, half hoping to see it again, half hoping not to. When the boat finally docked back at the pier, she stepped onto solid ground with a strange mix of relief and disappointment. Asterisk, later that afternoon, sitting in a small cafe near the beach, she replayed the moment in her mind. The sudden lunge, the shock of water, the way its eyes had fixed on hers. It had been frightening, yes, but also strangely uninspiring. She realized she'd seen a side of dolphins most tourists never did, the raw, wild truth behind the playful image. And in a way, she was grateful for it. It reminded her that nature isn't here to perform for us. It exists on its own terms. Asterisk that night, back in her hotel room, Jessica uploaded the footage her friend had taken. The camera had captured the whole sequence, her leaning over the side, the dolphin's sudden upward burst, the jolt of contact, and her startled stumble back. Watching it, she felt her heart race all over again. The comments came quickly once. She shared it online, people amazed, shocked, some laughing nervously, others warning about the risks of interacting with wild animals. A few even accused her of provoking it, though she knew she hadn't done anything beyond extending her hand. Asterisk, the video spread faster than she expected. By the next day, it had been reposted dozens of times, under titles like Dolphin Attacks, Tourist, or Shocking Dolphin Encounter. Some of the captions added emojis, little crying faces, wide-eyed surprise, which made the whole thing seem more dramatic than it had felt in the moment. Still, Jessica couldn't deny it was intense. Asterisk messages poured in from strangers. Some shared their own close calls with dolphins or other marine animals. Others thanked her for reminding them that wildlife should be respected. She even got a note from a marine biologist explaining that dolphins sometimes display protective aggression if they feel a human is too close to a young one or an important feeding area. Asterisk, reading that, Jessica thought back to the dolphins' behavior, the way it had circled, the tail slap at the end. Maybe there had been a calf somewhere nearby, hidden just beneath the surface. She would never know for sure, but the explanation fit. Asterisk, in the days that followed, the video became less about the shock and more about the lesson. Jessica found herself talking to people about her experience, emphasizing that the ocean was not an amusement park. It's their world, she would say. We're just visiting. And when you visit, you have to respect the rules of it if you don't know them yet. Asterisk, when her vacation ended and she flew home, she carried with her more than souvenirs and suntan lines. She carried the memory of that sharp, unexpected encounter. The humbling realization that beauty and danger can exist in the same moment, and that the creatures we admire from a distance have lives and instincts entirely separate from our own. Asterisk, even months later, every time she saw a picture of a dolphin smiling, playful, leaping through the air, Jessica would remember the other side of that image. She would remember the power in its movement, the intelligence in its gaze, and the spray of seawater hitting her face in the warm morning sun. And she would remember, above all, the truth she'd learned out there on the open water. That respect. For the wild is not just about keeping a safe distance, but about recognizing that you are in the presence of something you do not control and never will. Asterisk,